Hello, I'm Sophie Hellemans and I'm Sophie Hellafat. I'm also Sophie Hellafat on Instagram. Today I want to talk about, can binge eaters overcome their binge eating? The straight up answer is yes, of course. Binge eaters can overcome their binge eating disorder. I was a binge eater. I suffered with it for a few years, but last year I was sick of it. I just did a video about that. I got to a point where I was totally sick of my life as a binge eater. And I just got to a point where I didn't even enjoy the food anymore. So if you're going through something similar, please keep watching because I'm going to talk about the first steps I did to stop binge eating and start losing weight. So the first thing I did was I stopped buying the trigger foods. I stopped buying chips, I stopped buying chocolate, and I literally had to force myself. I would avoid going down the aisle in the supermarket that had like the chips and the chocolate. And this probably sounds so easy. It sounds like so obvious. Like, well, Sophie, obviously, like I shouldn't be buying it. But there's something inside me that like forces, like I have no control and I like have to buy it. One of the tips I have is a lot of the supermarkets do this now where you can order online. You can get it delivered or you can do click and collect. This is just for like Australian. I really wish that I could just say to you, hey, just do this, and you'll be fine. You have probably watched so many videos about this. You have watched how to lose weight, how to stop binge eating, never binge eat again. You've watched all these videos and they all say like, drink heaps of water, eat really healthy foods, eat more vegetables, just make sure you are eating enough and so on and so forth. Like, don't restrict yourself. But the thing is, you have to force yourself. Like, you literally, there's no magic thing. I'm not going to say like, okay, do this and you will never binge eat again. You literally have to force yourself. And I know that I've been in situations where I have driven around for like hours because I cannot make a decision. I'll be fighting with myself in my head. I want to get KFC, and then I'll think, no, I can't get KFC. Like it's ridiculous. There is someone like in your mind just yelling at you like, get it, and you're like, no. And I've been there. Unfortunately, there is no magic cure. Like, you literally just have to stop. And I know it's so annoying to hear, but what I do have to say about it is, what you need to do is really figure out what it is that started the binge eating. Really find out what it is and just work on that. Just forget about losing weight for a second. Like, do not watch any more like how to lose weight videos. Like, you're supposed to drink water, you're supposed to eat healthily, you need a certain amount of calories. Like, I feel like a lot of people, we sort of already know what we need to do, but of course there are these issues. Bonnie, please stop meowing. Come here. Is this what you need? Attention? Anyway, you really need to just concentrate on you and just forget about losing weight. Please stop meowing. I'm trying to make a video here. Come here. Why don't you sit here and just meow here? That'd be entertaining as fuck. What is triggering the binge? Is it stress? Is it emotional eating? It's just something that we all have to do as binge eaters, is really get down to the nitty gritty and figure out what is it that is making me binge. And when you feel a binge coming on, really think about like what it is. Personally, I still get triggered. I would definitely say that I am in recovery and I feel very confident that I'll never binge again, but I still get those triggers. Sometimes I do make little challenges for myself where I buy something that is triggering. This is kind of something I started doing kind of way into my binge eating recovery. I did not start doing this right away, obviously. Like, I would not recommend this just challenging yourself like when you first start trying to stop binge eating. But something I started doing was just these little challenges where I would buy, say, a bag of chips. And for me, chips are pretty triggering. If you got one of those bag of chips, they're pretty big. It's like 2,000 calories or something crazy, or 1,000 calories. I'm so knowledgeable. Like, when you open one of those bags, it's like you're supposed to share it with the family, but really, like, no. So I sort of eased into that with just by getting corn chips. To me, corn chips aren't as triggering. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like the flavor. I think like other chips are just way more triggering to me. but getting those and not buying something sweet to go with it is also like one of my things. Like if I do buy like a bag of corn chips, it has to be because we're having like chili or we're having like nachos, you know, it has to be for like a meal. It's not just for a snack. Bonnie, please stop meowing, for the love of God. Like the other day it was the wind and now it's you. I can't get. The other day I challenged myself with one of those boxes of Ferrero Rocher because they were really like heavily reduced, and I'm like, okay. And I was thinking like this would be a really good challenge for me because I think in the thing it has like say 15 Ferrero Rochers, and like, oh my God, they are like the yummiest. If you don't know what they are, oh my God, because they are seriously like the yummiest chocolatey things ever. Bonnie, stop! Anyway, when I feel like something, just a treat, like something small, something, you know, and it's obviously within my calories for the day, how it would be just really nice to have a cup of tea, like a cup of chai with one of these Ferrero Rochers. And so far so good. I got them, it would have been just under a week ago, and I've only had 2. So, you know, it's got like just little things like this I feel like you can work up to. So that's kind of how I'm going with it right now. But it's still a work in progress. Like it's never going to be perfect. But this is just the reality of it. Like there's no sort of like 7-step program to just, oh, never binging again, you'll be fine. I mean, it's just really about taking control, because we lose control. Like that's the whole thing with binge eating. We lose control. But if you have that control, like if you feel like, oh, I don't need that, or, you know, no, I'm gonna have like just chicken and veggies and rice for dinner. I'm not going to go to McDonald's. I'm not going to go to KFC. Like if you just have that control, then you're fine. You know, that's I feel like that's what it's about. It's just about regaining that control. So basically just, you know, even I think at the start, like if you are binge eating and you're like, dear God, I'm going on YouTube and just searching how to stop binge eating because I'm just sick of this. If that's you, what I would do first is just make it a little challenge. Next time you feel that trigger, just literally sit there and just let the trigger happen. Yes. Would you like to come here? Would you like to say hello? If you do end up binge eating, then don't worry about it. Try again next time. But basically just fight it. Regain control. Just try and remember, like, it is about control. It's about getting that control back, you know, being able to make a decision, you know, because for people that don't have a binge eating disorder, they might be going about their day and have an urge to have a donut, and they just think, you know what, I don't want a donut. And that happens to me sometimes now. I'll just be thinking like, oh gosh, I really would not mind KFC right now. And I'm able to be like, yes, but we've got so-and-so at home. You just kind of got to be like the parent. You got to parent yourself, really. And I don't mean that in a patronizing way. I just mean that you just got to be that. You've got to be your own person to say like, no. I know it's not as simple as that. I know that it's not as simple. And, you know, for you that, you know, you are suffering with this binge eating disorder, it isn't as simple as like, oh, just don't eat that much. It is not that simple, and I know that, and I do not mean to make it seem like an easy thing, but unfortunately, for me anyway, just obviously this is me just speaking from experience, you know, it is unfortunately mostly a matter of regaining that control. And if you do have issues, definitely talk to somebody, talk to a counselor, get therapy, do whatever you can. Obviously, like, not everyone can afford that. I think a lot of people will say like, get therapy, like get help, but obviously depending where you are, you might not be able to get help. In Australia, if you do need like a psychologist, you can, and you can't afford one, you can get a mental health plan, and I think it's like 10 sessions a year. If you want to space that out over a year, then you're going to be seeing your psychologist less than once a month, and for a binge eater, like, that's really not enough. So I totally get, like, if you're thinking that you do need help but you can't afford it, totally understand where you're coming from. I haven't got any like psychological help for this. I have seen counselors for other things in the past, but I was able to do it, you know, kind of alone really. Like I don't really have someone there, you know, being like, yeah. Instagram's fantastic. You can put, you know, a post up, and especially if you follow like tags, BED recovery and like the weight loss community, people will really root for you. So I do recommend doing that. If you don't have any help, there are also lots of groups on Facebook for binge eaters, and I find them really, really supportive. So many eating disorders lead people to feel isolated. You know, they feel so alone in that disorder. So I think BED is no different. It is no different from any other disorder in that it does make you feel really alone. And I know that being alone can be a really big trigger for a lot of people, and it definitely was for me. So I totally get if that is you. And I just want to, you know what, I just want to finish this video by saying, like, do not give up. Please, like, don't give up. I was at a point last year, if I can't deal with this, then I may as well just let myself get as big as I'm gonna get, because what is the point? I've been there, and you can gain control. Like, never feel like you can't gain that control back, because you definitely can. You are the master of you, and you are worth that. You are worth this fight. So keep fighting and get that control back. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. Like this video, and please let me know if you're trying to stop binge eating and what helps you. Is this the attention you wanted?